Tony Smith with Denison Yachting. Thank you for watching and welcome back. So the next stage of our buyer's consultation is actually to talk about the roadmap to your yacht. Now, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. Now, that's a very simple quote that conveys a very powerful plan. If you want to get somewhere, you need to create a plan. And that's what we, as your buyer side brokers, will help you do. So we will walk you through all this and use the most efficient use of your time and ours to find the ideal yacht for you. Now, oftentimes the first step of this is to set your time frame. And keep in mind, buying a yacht, it can be a 30 to 90 day process. And that 30 days could be just for the closing. That's typical closing. For a larger vessel, it could take up to 60 days. Really defining all the upfront parameters and creating a formal plan is going to really help you to be very successful here. Now, throughout this, the things that we're going to be doing as brokers, we're going to be going through looking at the yachts that you gave us the criteria on, things that you favorited, things that come up in your personalized technology search that we've set up for you. And then we will look through the boat's history, get the inside information, find out the maintenance records, gets all the pros and cons, and then we'll help you formalize that throughout. What we want to talk to you about next is defining your mission. So what you have here in the worksheet, this is a formal worksheet which will go through and ask you to define your search criteria. So I'm going to run you through this, and these are things that you should think about, and we're actually going to want to write this out as we plan out your process. So a few things. Who are the stakeholders here? Are you buying the boat just on your own? Are you married? Do you have a spouse to consult with? Are your kids involved? All of that. Now keep in mind, often a married couple or individual can get approved. If you're buying the boat with several of your friends and financing it, that can become difficult. So we just want to let you know about that. Know who all the stakeholders and users of the boats are. Again, we wanted to define the best way that we should communicate together to be open and honest. So we want to ask you, what's the best time to communicate with you? And then we really go into the specifics, like what's prompting the yacht purchase. Is it a financing or cash deal? Have you owned a boat before? Again, back to the marine loan and pre-approval. We want to talk about the style of the vessel itself. And then we want to define the price range that you have in mind. And again, the pre-approval is so important here because the payments can vary widely, and we want to make sure we set these parameters up front. Next up, we want to take a look at the timeline. Are we looking 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 12 months, or more than a year out? And then we want to take a look at when you actually want to take a delivery of that boat. So how long you've been looking for the boat, and then when you're ready to make a move on this. The next thing we're going to focus on is urgency. Okay, so we have 3 different tiers, and we're grouping these into buying this season, planning to buy, and thinking about it buyers. And we really want you to do some soul searching and openly and honestly communicate that with us. Again, we do not want to waste our time. We don't want to waste your time. We want to bring you the information that you need in the most appropriate manner. Now, if you are hot to get on this boat and really move with it, then obviously we'll be communicating with you more regularly. We just want to really define up front and be open and honest with this. And then the next question that we're going to ask is, if we find the ideal vessel, are you ready to make a move? And there's things like the family, the pre-approval on the finance and insurance, other things like that, that we can help you get in place to more easily answer those questions. The next step up here, your boating background. So we're going to go through what type of boating you've done, how familiar you are with various vessels. There may be a lot that we can do to educate you on the boats. We want to learn about your mission, what your ideal boat is, what the style is, your cruising area, again, budget. If you want to consider a charter program or a part-time charter on the vessel, we need to find that up front. And then we also want to take a look at the lifestyle. Is this going to be just for you and your friends, or you and your spouse? Are there children? All of those things play into that, ages of children, to find the most appropriate boat. And then we really want to deep dive and talk about, again, what lifestyle you want to have. And then we're going to jump into describing the boat. Is this an express cruiser, motor yacht, explorer, catamaran, super yacht? You may not know what you're looking at yet, and we just want to define, is this something you know, or is this something we can educate and work with you together? Oftentimes, like I said, going to a boat show could be a great experience to see a bunch of boats side by side, especially if you're in the early phases of this. And then we define what's the number of staterooms that you need, the number of heads or bathroom. What you're going to do with the tender. Are you going to have a tow behind tender? Do you want a platform for a tender? Will the tender be up top? All of these are important. And then we want to take a look at style. Are you looking for something more casual or cozy, traditional, contemporary, modern? All these are important to look at. And then the other things are, do we want a new boat, or a lightly used boat, or a fixer-upper? There's pros and cons for each of those. Oftentimes people think they want to refit a boat and they get into a big project, and for a first-time boat buyer, it's often better to buy something that's turnkey, spend the money up front, versus trying to buy a boat that's a project and then you just get down into the weeds. Now, I've done projects before. I'm very familiar with that. I've changed my own turbochargers and heat exchangers, so I can help you with that and really give you the pros and cons of project boats. And then we're going to have you list off what your must-haves are for the boat, and then a few bonus things. So that takes you through real quick what our search criteria and really defining your mission look like.